What's up, everyone? It's the Metal Butcher. I'm here in my home shop. Just got a fire going. Just got some snow on Sunday and tornadoes on Saturday, so pretty usual weather here for Alabama. But I thought I'd do a little more of a vlog style video, not exactly my typical, and show you what I got going on down here. So I got the old Vermont running good, keeping us warm, and just kind of a look at my basement overall. It's 20 by 50 with a little alcove over here to the left. Where the bathroom and bedroom is above. It's my house up there. And of course you got the two garage doors and the mighty daewoo sitting right there right now. So from here it's just long straight shot with poles in the middle. And my grandfather, when he lived here, he added all these walls and things and additional bracing, and I'm looking to open it back up because you can't effectively move big parts and equipment with walls and poles and stuff in the way. And it's not really needed. You can see the center span is supported and this bracing is superfluous. I guess he did it to stiffen it up a little bit, but it's not really necessary. The other item of contention he did was he covered all the walls in foam and styrofoam. Some of it may be quite flammable, some of it may be treated. I found some similar pieces in the garage and tried burning them, and they burned very, very, very well. So that's probably not the smartest to have with a wood stove and hot metal chips. So Dad and I have been talking about this stuff and whether to remove it or cover it, and he thinks it keeps it warm and dry down here. And I don't know about the temperature, but I will say that nothing rusts in this basement. This is the driest basement around. The wood's moisture content is like 0. You can leave exposed metal indefinitely. I never have flash rust on any of my tools. So if that's truly what's keeping, all this foam is keeping the tools dry, then it's worth it. So we're talking about covering that up with plywood or OSB, but I'm going to go broke buying either of those with the prices right now. But I got to do something. I can't mount anything to this. I could mount stuff directly to the block. You can see behind there, but I can't mount anything to this, and it's glued on kind of half-assedly with liquid nails. So it would suck to remove it. It would suck to keep it, but I have to do something. So I guess cover over it is the current plan, and be all right. I'm shooting this kind of like a Doozer style vlog. I don't know if you've seen any of Doozer stuff. If not, you should check out his channel up in the cards. He's a really cool fellow. Has big HBM, has a Rockford open side planer, nice drill press, Sipley jig bore, Pratt & Whitney 2B, 3B jig bore. Just some really, really nice equipment. I mean, dream shop for me. He's an inspiration and a good friend, and we talk a lot. And he has kind of longer, slower format videos, which is not my typical content, but they're more of a video format between small YouTube creators that are kind of all friends. So this isn't necessarily targeted my usual audience. So no hard feelings if you don't stick around. But let's talk about what's new in the shop. So for the daewoo, not much. I think I've fooled with the cross slide a little bit since my last video. Not a lot of time spent on it, but I will have some power for it soon. Dad's been working on a phase converter, so should be able to get this thing tested pretty soon, at least temporarily. It didn't run when I tried it out of my work. I think that's because I believe that is the main power switch, and obviously it's disconnected. But I'll show a quick peek inside the box here. So it's got a lot going on. Main power comes in, got your tool transformer there. That is a coil for your ammeter on top. Then you have two big contactors. I guess looking at the setup here, hot. Okay, so on the bottom, that's the same. Actually, they reversed all the wires. So I'm thinking this is your reversing contactor setup. But then from my understanding, it's a star delta start. So maybe that's what these contactors on the door do, is because they appear to be set up similarly. So I'm not an electrical expert. This stuff all looks pretty intact to me. There's a UVWXYZ that appears to go directly down to the motor. So I'm guessing that you use 3 of those for delta and 3 of those for Y. I don't know. If an expert knows, you can tell me, but for now, I'm going to leave all this alone because it appears to be attacked. But the labeling, everything's really good. So I'm hoping that if none of these components are bad, I can just put power to it and it'll crank up. I don't necessarily want to run it long without first going through the motor and everything. I don't even know if there's any oil in this gearbox. I was told it leaked. I haven't checked the filter. I don't know if the pump works. Definitely nasty down in there. You can't see anything through the sight glass, of course. I guess I could take the plug out and take a look at it. But I got a lot to do on this guy. Just working through it. One of the biggest hurdles that I needed to overcome before doing this, because I mean it's just nasty, so I had to get a parts washer. And Dad found this one for me. I've shot a little bit of video about it on my phone. It's just your standard 40-gallon tub, but had to do a lot of work on it. You can see I made a table. There's a filter box down below. So for my safety clean, I've got this little filter box that comes with it. And I'm going to put this foam in. That's my filter, so that's going to clog up these holes and these little slits on the bottom. And then to keep that from getting too dirty, I've got this wire screen that sits right on top of it. Cool. So that filter box just goes in back behind the shelf, and then those drain holes just drain into the box. Had to put a new screen in on the pump there, and I've also got a fuel filter in the pump box. So my pump is this replacement little giant pump, and I've got it going through a fuel filter to try to clean up any particulate, and the pump is protected by another piece of that same stainless screen wire. So the idea is that the fluid should stay pretty darn clean, and I still need to put in a switch down on this leg, but that'll be it to finish this guy off. And I should have plenty of room in here to work on daewoo parts. So the liquid comes out pretty clear. You see it was dirty at the start, but it cleans right up. So I should be keeping nice and clean liquid, even though the stuff I'm washing is pretty gross. So it's pretty much good to go. The hinge thing doesn't hold it up, the spring mechanism, it's all messed up anyway. So I just need to replace that with a gas strut or something, but I have a solvent parts washer, so I can wash all that nasty graphite off. So get that in. So I'll be working on that a little bit. As for this area over here, this is where the Sydney lathe will be going. It'll be going right along that back wall there, behind It's hard to see right there. But there's a pole right here, so I'll kind of have to, I guess, swing it around and pivot it in. But there's plenty of room, and as long as you're just not, it'll be a little tight on the pole, but I think you can get around it. If I really wanted to, I could probably put an I-beam up there or something eventually. I don't know. My long-term plan for this area is to actually add back in a wall and make it a little grinding alcove to keep that away from the rest of the shop. But since this will be the first area to be cleared, I'm going to put the Sydney lathe against the back wall, and I'll have the Royersford coming out right here. And this area where my car is and the lathe is currently will be my fabrication area. So I don't mind those tools getting too dirty. The daewoo, I'm planning on pushing straight back through that wall, through the next wall. It'll live there because I want to have good access 360 degrees in this lathe. This will be my primary one, and I'll need to get around it to, you know, take out this chip pan and tighten up steady rest and just have access to it. I don't currently have any lifting capabilities. I do have 2 pallet jacks now for moving stuff around. That one's kind of a piece of junk. I am going to look at a forklift maybe this Friday. I'll have to see. It's a little Clark 2,000 pound with a really low mast, and it's also full free lift, which I have to have because the ceiling, you know, I can reach the rafters, and this pipe, it's just over my head. Ceiling, not a lot of option for forklift. Let's see what else we got. Dad found a little bandsaw. Some guys had safety clean. It's not much pumpkin, but it works. And got the hacksaw all cleaned up in here. It's ready to go. I just need to put the belt for the oil pump back on and fill it full of oil. I'm not doing water soluble again. I'm going to do actual cutting oil. So now I'm a salaried engineer, I can kind of spend some money on some nice stuff. So I went and picked up some Dewalt because I'm a Dewalt fanboy, and I didn't really want the big drill, especially not a hammer drill, but you know, that's how they have it packaged where you're supposed to buy it. What I did want though is these carbide chuck jaws that they put on their higher end drill, because these don't slip. I used one of these at work doing some tapping, and it doesn't slip. But brushed drills suck at tapping because that motor will just increase its torque. You don't get any feel, and then it's an electronic clutch too. So that's meant for a sudden increase in torque, like a screw, and not a steady increase with taps. This is actually terrible for tapping, but you know, I still use these for metalworking. After a while, the chucks wear out, so I really wanted those carbide jaws. And you know, the kit with the little drill and little impact, like my dad has, is $200. This was $290. It's really a better deal. So I got a big drill, I got big batteries. And this little thing is stronger than I thought. It will take the lugs right off that car, which surprised me for a 1/4 inch impact. Yeah, that's my thoughts. I wish they made one of these. I wish they took this chuck and put it onto the smaller, was it 787 or whatever, the compact one with the metal chuck that doesn't have the carbide jaws, no hammer drill, with the 2 amp hour batteries. That would be perfect for me. But you can't take the chucks off. They're just basically welded on there practically if you look at the videos. So, oh well, a little heavy, but overall, really nice tools. Happy to have them. Should also mention that traded an old JD lawnmower for 150 of these LED bulbs. I'm slowly going through and replacing all of my old bulbs that don't like to start. Oh, not bad that time. Dad's already used 55, 60 of them, but there's a problem that they cause some banding if you get the light, you know, as it gets brighter in here and the phone shutter speed gets over 1/60th of a second, you'll start to see some banding. So that may be an issue in the future. We'll just have to see going forward. So I'm up at my dad's today, and I thought I'd show off this little tool I bought the other day. It's a Harbor Freight extended reach 4-inch cutoff tool, and damn, I like it. I mean, I liked it initially, but I've been using it a little bit, and it's been getting even better. It's got this really nice trigger on it. Head's very small. Seems really well made. People have said that this is the same as a Jet or some other models. They're all made in the same factory, and I believe that it's well above Harbor Freight's usual quality. I paid $110 for it, and of course I immediately went to modifying it because I want to be able to run, grinding wheels and wire wheels and stuff. So I made up this little bolt, just threaded on the lathe. It's M6x1. To hold this wire wheel on, and this is a wire wheel I drug out of Dad's stuff, but it's not very good. It's got a bunch of bent wires and it's out of balance. But I'll be damned if it doesn't work really nicely. So thinking I'm going to buy some new wire wheels. But now comes the question, that M6 bolt or thread internally in here, it's not going to last that long. It's not like a normal grinder where it's got a big 5/811 because it's all meant to be low profile. So I don't know how many swaps it'll be good for, whether I should buy another for doing wire wheel work or what. I guess I'll play with it, and if I continue to like it, I may do that. But let me hook it up and run it here. It goes pretty slow. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I don't know how much of that was clipped there, but in the audio, I like it. So I'm gonna have to get a smooth running wire so I can get kind of like down in the valleys of my lathe bed and do those. So also I've been buying some tools from my buddy Matt Crook, and I sold him a 6-jaw initially, and we've been just doing some horse trading. So the first thing he sold me was this, a while back, this end-on threading bar. Right there. And I have yet to use it because I didn't have an 1.5-inch holder. I had started to build one out of this chunk of steel, and just never got it done because I didn't have a dovetail cutter. Well, I do now. But he had exactly what I was looking for. I was about to go and buy the Starrett version of this. It's a Dorian 1.5-inch CA holder, and of course I was using CXA before, but now I've moved to CA. And so he had that. I wanted that. He also sold me another regular holder. It never hurts to have too many. And then he had something I really wanted, which was a CNMG 1.5-inch boring bar, MCLNR, and gave me a good price on that. He had the matching holder, so I went ahead and picked that guy up. So now I've got 2.5-inch bars, and I went ahead and grabbed this threading tool that he had for a good deal. It's a AVR 1000D. I forget who makes it. It's a little modified. This, by the way, is a STHNL bar. And then, well, in Dad's shop I've used WNMG tools, but since I was getting stocked up on the CNMG, and he had a 2-inch bar for cheap, so I said fuck it and got that one too. That's a DC LNR. Not sure what the difference between D and M are. I've forgotten that much. Probably do something with the angles or whatnot. So yeah, I've got some big bars now. I got set up on CNMG tools. He gave me a great deal on this pack of used inserts, so I'll have to figure out what I like and order a bunch more of those once I run out. Got a pile of those though. So yeah, got some cool tools. Well, while we're here, let's talk phase converters. I've got this 15 horsepower Reliance motor that Dad got with an air compressor that got dropped, so it's kind of broken. And we went through it and put bearings in it, and then we've been working on a phase converter with mostly used hardware. Bought a contactor off eBay, bought new capacitors, old power block, and some switches, and it does run. It's not 100% balanced. So, not super quiet, but I think it'll power my Daewoo and the Sydney probably alright. So, that's exciting. This is only a 200 volt motor, but it runs fine on 240. Oh, and if it's brighter in here, we have switched every single light out with LEDs. So that's fantastic. Love it. Finally a consistent white balance for me across the whole shop. It's a little darker in here, but overall much brighter than before with the fluorescent tubes and a lot less energy usage. So yeah, that's what's going on up at Dad's shop.